I purchased this AURIC Mirage Shift Cream Cheek Palette in November. Although they had a sale in November, this was not part of the sale because it was recently released during that time. They have 3 different versions of this palette, 3 different shades. The one I got is the deepest of the 3, Eventide. So this is the unit carton, and on the back it has the names of the shades and the labels, what they are. This is what Eventide looks like. I love the feel of the packaging. It has this, the name AURIC is raised, and also the actual packaging is textured as if a painter's palette, the plaster, not quite even. Love this packaging. And this is the back. It has also the names of the shades and what they are, as in bronzer, blush, highlight, and balm. I believe each palette has a different tone to the outer packaging like this, but this one is the deepest of the 3, and this is the palette. At first, when I saw this palette revealed, I knew I was going to get the deepest of the 3, but I wasn't quite sure if I wanted this blush versus the blush that's on the second palette. The great thing about this palette is that it's magnetic and refillable. These pens are removable. I have attempted to remove them and they are strongly magnetized in there. I was able to test it and they are removable, but keep in mind it's a really strong magnet. On the back as well, there are pinholes for you to push the pens out. As you can see, still in its pristine condition. I am yet to use this palette, so you and I will be trying it for the first time, or you'll be watching me try it for the first time. The bronzer is called Dune shade, and it's described as a velvet matte finish. That's the bronzer Dune shade, velvet matte finish. On here, it's also labeled, not the name of the shades, but what it's labeled as: bronzer, blush, highlight, and balm. And then the next shade, Fever Heat, is the blush. It's a satin finish. Next is the highlight, and it's also a satin finish. It's named Lion Basque. And then the last pan, Dew Beam, it's a balm, Dew Beam, and it's a dewy finish. This balm seemed to be a mixer. You could use it alone, but you can also mix it into each of these shades, make them dewier, glowier on your skin. When I purchased the palette, I went ahead and also purchased their mixing palette and the spatula. I'm going to go ahead and scoop some product onto the mixing palette. So I have the bronzer, and then I'll swatch it, and I'm wiping the spatula as I dip into different shades. Just from scooping out the shades, I'm yet to touch them. Just scoop them out with the spatula. I noticed that the bronzer, blush, and highlight are thicker, although creamy. They're much more solidified than the balm. The balm feels more like a custard, like a pudding texture, when, I guess like a balm. When I scooped it, I already made a pan in there, but it is softer, significantly softer than these 3 shades. Now, I don't know if, depending on temperature, environment, if the feeling of these products will change. So touching for the first time, very, very creamy. Very creamy, oh my God, very creamy. The balm is also feels stickier. And these are the shades. They are beautiful. I'm excited to use these. So that's the bronzer, blush. They also feel like a cream to powder, these two at least. The highlighter, as I blend it out, feels the same. And then the balm, interesting. Although they are cream products, they feel like the cream they are, but as I blend them out, it seems like they dry down a bit like a powder, cream to powder finish. These are beautiful. I also, just first impression, love how effortless they blend. Just blending with my finger, but we shall see. With the unique carton, it comes with this sleeve, extra protection, and also a paper insert that shows the ingredients of each product. I've already done my base. I will link everything below if you'd like to know what I used on my skin. I am yet to powder my face or do my brows, but everything else I have done except for these products. I'm going to use the BK Beauty Nikki LaRose N17 brush. This is what I use to blend out my skin tint. But I'm going to go into the bronzer lightly, and I'll slowly, the plan always, slowly build. I think you can see, just laying it down there, you can see the shade. It blends. This is what I need right now. I've been creating and wearing more glowier looks because of the season. My skin is drier. It also looks like it's buildable, but for my look today, I think I'll stop right here with the degree of pigmentation. This is the side, and this without it. I'm impressed by how effortless it blends into my skin. And this is how much I have left, and I'm going to just use it all up and go over the areas again. I don't usually do my nose like to bronze. It's not something I routinely do. I rarely do, but I will go ahead and just go wild. This is beautiful. And this is the face so far, with just the bronzer Dune shade. So far so good. Next, the blush Fever Heat. Since it's my first time using this, I wanted to lightly and slowly build up, since I'm not also quite sure on pigmentation blendability. This is beautiful. So one of the reasons why I was drawn towards the second palette, the actual blush in that one, was I really prefer, although I love different shades of blushes, I seem to be drawn towards and also prefer those orange coral-ish, sometimes slightly terracotta shades. But since I wasn't quite sure of the depth of the bronzer in that second palette, the third palette to me made more sense. I could share out the blush if it's not quite what I want, but at least that bronzer and highlight in this Eventide palette I knew I would use. I am happy to report that this Fever Heat, I think the product photos and my perception of the shades, just looking at them, this blush pulled differently on those to me than it looks like in real life. This blush, exactly what I wanted. It has some orange to it and also buildable and also terracotta tone to it as well. Blendable, I think, and as you can see, it can be built up as well. I did not need to scoop out that much blush. As you can see, I have plenty left. This is a beautiful, beautiful tone. I am pleased. I'm trying my best not to bring it too low. I want to keep it right here. But as you can see, I was able to blend it and tone down the shade some more. I'll apply a little bit more up here where I want a lot more color. So this is what my skin is looking like with just the bronzer, Dune Shade, and blush, Fever Heat. So far so good as well. I'm spreading the highlighter over the mixing palette for an even pickup, and I'm using the same brush. I wiped off any excess products from the previously applied bronzer and blush. Let's go in. So this, I do have a glow from everything else I've applied so far. Skincare, skin tint, and the blush and bronzer. Hopefully you'll be able to pick up, and also I will notice the difference in glow. There's a golden glow. This is beautiful. Samantha. Gorgeous. I love the seamless blend of everything. So although the glow that's on my skin is similar, there is a golden hue to it now that I've applied this highlighter, Lion Basque. Oh yes, oh yes. Also beautiful. This is beautiful. You know, I don't think I need to apply the balm. Like, I'm glowy enough. That balm scares me a bit, but I will apply just a little bit, just a little bit. I'm spreading it out on the palette as well. Maybe a little bit on my lips, just it gives it a nice glow. But for the sake of the demo, I'm not going to mix. I'm just going to pick up just a little bit and apply it right on top here. Yeah, it is stickier. And I like the concept, the idea behind having the balm. I do plan in the future to play more with the balm. As of right now, what I'm getting from this palette, I'm okay without the balm. But if I were to mix it, I see myself mixing it more with the blush to give me that blush highlighter hybrid all together to my cheeks. And this is what my palette is looking like. Beautiful. I could apply a little bit of the blush on my lips as well, although I've applied lip product before the start of this video. Now we have a hybrid tone, some custom shade. Just finished with the rest of my makeup, did my brows and powdered down a bit. Since this is the first time using this palette, I cannot speak to the longevity of these cream products on my skin, oily combination skin. Although dry during the end of fall and throughout winter season, from previous experiences using cream products, they seem to disappear on my skin throughout the day, especially blush. So far, I loved what this palette is giving me and how it looks on my skin and also my skin tone. This is a beautiful palette. I'm excited to keep using it and coming back, giving you my feedback as I go. This excites me. This palette, the color story, the concept excites me. A few standouts just from using it for the first time today. Love the packaging. Feels luxe. Feels luxurious. Gorgeous packaging. I love that the pens are removable, refillable. The brand has yet to release actual refills. I do believe, with that said, when they do release it, one has the option of either purchasing the palette and then buying refills, or just buy the one that you want, the shade that you want, and you have your own magnetic palette and use it that way, the versatility. Another standout, I love how effortless, seamless it blends, and these work together on my skin tone. I love the overall healthy look to my skin. Although this palette was not included in your sale when I purchased it in November, I do believe the longer they have it in their line, there will be a future sale eventually the new will become old and it will be part of a sale. I would say if you're not in need of a palette like this, but you're interested in it and you're okay waiting, that's perfectly fine. Use what you have, and then eventually, especially saving you money when they have a sale and it includes this palette, you can purchase it then and hopefully enjoy it. As of the mixing palette and spatula, it's not a necessity. I sometimes put products on the back of my hand and apply it from there, but I wanted it. It feels luxurious as well. There's the gold side and the silver side, and then the spatula is golden. I will do my best. I will try to refrain from using my fingers, brushes, sponges, anything other than the spatula into this palette. Why I say this is I have so many other cream products that I need to use, and cream products just by nature, they go bad faster, and I have had times when just reintroducing sponges, tools, fingers, all that puts it at a higher risk of going bad faster because you're reintroducing organisms, aware or unaware, touching my face, going back in there, touching things, going back in there. So I do want this palette, since it's the newest cream product in my beauty capsule, I want it to last as long as it can. So keeping that in mind, I will try my best to do to use the spatula. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, and while you're here, if you have not subscribed, I would love for you to consider subscribing. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in my next video.